Hello, my name is Łukasz Wójcik. I'm the Caro Studio owner. In today's presentation, I would like you to introduce two primitive interaction elements. For this presentation, I will use a Balsamiq mockups software. It's a special software to building a mockup of web design, web pages, mobile application, and standalone application. And you can download the Balsamiq from the balsamiq.com site. It's a homepage of the Balsamiq project. There is a free trial version. You have a free 7 days to know the tool, to know all its features. It's a very nice tool. So let's start. First of all, I will create a new blank mockup. And at this mockup I will use a label primitive. Label primitive is a single line text. You can put a single text and you cannot use a multi-line. This is the single state. This single text contains two states. It's a normal text when it appears on the screen, and it's disabled. It will be a little gray text. It will be information for a user that this text is disabled. It can give this information from a form, for example. The next element, more interactive, is a single text input. Text input is one of the main elements of the form in the internet, in the application. You use this element to type data into the form, for example, my name. It's also a single line element. You can switch a state on this element from normal, when you have full access to a type text on it. In focus, it's a situation when you are not typing the text, but you are have a cursor inside and you can ready to type. And the last one is a state disabled, which means that you cannot use this input, but you can read what's on it. The next type of the primitive is a text area. The functionality is close to a text input, but you can use a multi-line text. You can type multi-line. So we have a line 1, line 2, and it will appear on the screen. In a few browsers you can just resize this input, the text area, and if you want to disable it, you should disable it in a CSS. So we have a label, we have a text input, text area, and the next one is a button. Here it is. Button is element when you can release the action. Press me. Okay, it's a single line. So if, for example, if you want to submit the form, you will press the button. It will release the action. It will gather the data from the form and send to the server. It will save the data. It will pop-up window. It will be used for any other actions. The states which the button can be is a normal state, so it appears when the button is not used. Selected, it appears when the button is pressed. In focus, which means that you use the tab key and you are on this button and you can press the enter to release the action. It's similar to a click. And the last one is disabled, which means that you cannot press the button but it appears on the screen. The next primitive is a link. Go to home page. Link is used to open the other window or redirect to other window, other page, other website, which means you must provide a web address, for example google.com, and when you press the button, a new window will appear and you will be redirected to google.com. Okay, so let's back to the Balsamiq. The difference between button and link is that they are designed for other purpose. As I said, button must release some actions, and link is for redirection. Of course, button can open new window or redirect user to another page, but it wasn't designed for this kind of activities. You should use link for redirection to other pages to open other sites, and button for release the actions. Okay, so the next primitive is a combo box. Combo box is a selecting tool. You have a few options on it. And when you select the combo box, you will have a free items to select. When you select the second one, the button will remember your the combo box will remember your selection, and when you send data to the server will know that you select the item number 2. Also, the available state are similar to other primitives. You have a normal state, disabled state, when you cannot select any item, closed, you don't have any possibility to open the combo box and see the items. And also you can disable and close, which means it is not ready to use by the user. Okay, so the next one is the radio button. Here it is. Radio button is a single select item. You have some label to describe, for example, agree. If I select it, which means I agree, so it's the value of the radio button is false, it's true. If it is disabled, the value of the when it's normal state, with it's not selected, its value it's false. And sometimes you can see that there is the third possibility, interminate, which means you have a null value. It doesn't have a false or true value, it's null value. Okay, so you have also a disabled state, so you cannot click it, select. You have a disabled and selected, you cannot unselect, and disabled and terminate, which means it has a null value and you cannot change it. Radio buttons may be grouped into the radio button group. radio button group is designed for a single selection. If you have a few options and you select the third one, the other radio button will be unselect. So you can select only one item at the time. The similar primitive is a checkbox. Checkbox has the same functionality as a radio button. You have a normal, selected item, interminate, disabled, and others. But if you have a radio button group, you have a possibility to select multiple choices. So the main difference between the radio button group and the checkbox group is that the radio button is give you the possibility to select only one item in the list, and the checkbox is a multi-select, so you can select the first two, and you will give information for a server that you select these two items, which is not possible in the radio button right here. Okay, so those primitives are pretty common for web pages and desktop computers, desktop software. Also, you can find it on the mobile devices, and we will go to the mobile devices right now because few icons are different than the other one. So we have a mobile device. Yes, it's for example this mobile phone. So first of all, you can, if you want type text, you have a single text input, and if you will press on the computer and you don't have a hardware keyboard, you will have on the screen this single iOS keyboard, and you will type the letters which will be appear here in the text box, the text input. Sometimes you can have alert, which means that you must agree or not agree with this information, or you have an alert because there were a error or other failure on the software. It's for inform the user about some situations in the application. If you want to select a date or time, you will use a date picker. Date picker is built with these three columns. The first column will have hours, and the second minutes, and here the date. So when you swipe up and down, you don't have to use a keyboard here. When you use up and down, you will select one of the value, and you can set the time. Another primitive is a on-off switch. It's a single switch. It's just like a radio button or a checkbox, but you don't have a null value. There is only true or false. It also has a different shape because when you compare to checkbox, or it can have other shape, of course, because some platform have a similar shapes than on the web. This is the iOS, and if you will swipe the control to the left, it will change the value from true to false, so it will be select, just like clicking the checkbox, so it will be select. Okay. Okay, so this we don't have to use now. So the last one, the last control will be a point button. Point button is something similar to the normal button, but its responsibility to it gives the user ability to switch between the views. If you have if you are on the login page and if you want to return to, for example, the main landing page of the application, you will press the button, the point button, which will point you that you are going to the previous view. If you want sometimes go to the if you want to return and go to the selection that to the view that you used before, you will have a pointy button which will point you to the right, so you will go to the first view. Okay, so that's all for now. I think the topic was interesting for you. So see you and thank you.